Good morning, everyone. Is this loud enough? Can you hear me? No. Can we turn this up a little bit, Jack? Thank you. I mean, I know I got a booming voice, but good morning, everyone. It's better. My name is Reverend Emily Bruce. I am the minister of this congregation. Welcome to First Parish, whether you're joining us here in person in the sanctuary or joining us on Zoom. Everybody wave hi to the Zoom folks. Hi. We're happy that you're with us here this morning. As Unitarian Universalists, we are a people of diverse beliefs, but we share a common faith. We share a faith that every single person is worthy of love, a faith that what we do in and for our world today really matters, and a faith that we are connected by an interdependent web to one another and to our earth home. So whoever you are, whomever you love, and however you make meaning of this world around us, you are welcome to be with us in worship this morning. Our worship theme this month is digging deep into ourselves. And in our service today, we're going to explore what it might look like for you to dig deep and take time for rest. We're all going through the cycles of emotion around the news and so much more. So how are you, or are you, should I ask, taking time to ground yourself, to rest your brain, and more importantly, to rest your heart? The frantic pace of our world, the anxiety and the rage that is all around us, none of it will take time for you. None of it will consider your needs. So today, I hope in this service to encourage you all to contemplate what it means to pay attention to yourself, to your bodies, and to find sanctuary in slowing down for just a moment. And we're going to start right now. We begin our services always with taking some time to breathe. So I invite you to get comfortable in your seats. If you haven't yet silenced your cell phone, maybe you could do it right now. Get comfortable and join me in taking a deep breath in and out. Let's do that again. In and out. Relax the muscles in your neck and your forehead, your hands, any place you feel tension. Just try even a tiny bit to let it go, to rest into this space, to release your back into the pew, to let your feet connect with the floor and the ground beneath it. And take another deep breath in and out. And continue that practice as best as you are able through the whole service. Our service will now begin with lighting our chalice, which is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. And as I have been doing, I would like to ask if there was a volunteer who would like to come up and light the chalice while our worship associate shares some words. Any takers? Anybody? All right, come on up, Mackenzie. Did we have more than one person? All right. Well, you got to be quicker next time.
Good morning. I'm Kathy Kay. I'm a member of the choir, and I'm the collector for this congregation. And this morning we light our chalice with these words by Jack Mendelson. Here in the sanctuary of ancient dreams and wisdom and beauty, we come to grow, to be healed, to stretch mind and heart, to be challenged, renewed, to be helped in our own continuing struggles for meaning and for love, to help build a world with more justice and mercy in it, to be counted among the hopers and doers. In the face of cynicism, darkness, brutality around us and within, we seek to align ourselves with a living community that would affirm rather than despair, that would think and act rather than simply adjust and succumb. Here we invite the spirit of our own humanity and the healing powers under, around, through and beyond it, to give us the nerve and grace, the toughness and sensitivity, to search out the truth that frees and the life that maketh all things new. Come, let us worship together. And now I invite you to rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 1029, Love Knocks and Waits for us to hear in the teal hymnal. When we give, we say yes to something we value. In this congregation, we take up an offering each week to say yes to the values of our UU faith and yes to this beloved community. Please give as you are able. Today's offering will be gratefully received. Our offering today is Something Told the Wild Geese, words by Rachel Field and music by Sherry Porterfield. Our reading this morning is excerpted from the book Wintering, The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times by the British author Catherine May. Everybody winters at one time or another. Some winter over and over again. Wintering is a fallow period in life that can bring about some of the most profound and insightful moments of our human experience. Wisdom resides in those who have wintered. In winter, I'm tired, inevitably, but it's more than that. I'm hollowed out. I'm tetchy and irritable, constantly feeling like prey, believing that everything is urgent and that I can never do enough. But doing the deeply unfashionable things while wintering, slowing down, getting enough sleep, resting, is a radical act now, but it is essential. This is a crossroads we all know, a moment when you need to shed a skin. If you do, you'll expose all those painful nerve endings and feel so raw that you'll need to take care of yourself for a while. If you don't, then that skin will harden around you. To make that manageable, we just have to remember that our present will one day become a past, and our future will be our present. We know that because it's happened before. The things we put behind us will often come around again. The things that trouble us now will often come around again. Each time we endure the cycle, we ratchet up a notch. This is how progress is made. In the meantime, we can deal only with what's in front of us at this moment in time. We take the next necessary action and the next. At some point along the line, that next action will feel joyful again. Because winter is not the death of the life cycle, but its crucible.
Friends, winter is almost upon us, literally, because it got cold this week, didn't it? I knew when I had to pull a scarf out of the hall closet that it was finally starting to get actually cold. And it feels like, metaphorically, winter is upon us also. I know that. I know we're all reading the news, even if we say we're trying to take a break, even if we insist that we're giving ourselves a break. I'm saying that, and it's not really true. It's not as true as I want it to be. Does it? It has not stopped. It will not stop. It keeps churning out those headlines, those sound bites, and our lizard brains just keep reading it and reacting to it. It's funny, but it's true. We keep our eyes glued to our screens because we're both dreading more apocalyptic news, and maybe we're trying to nurture that tiny, tiny little flame of hope in our hearts that we might hear some good news. Can anyone relate to that feeling? Yeah, I figured. Isn't it exhausting? Aren't we tired? Isn't there a part of you that wants out, at least for a little bit? So I'm going to say this. You are not a bad person if you want to take a break from the news right now. You are not a bad person. You are no less committed to your UU values and to the work of justice if you want to just curl up with a good book or go for a walk or eat something yummy while watching escapist TV. Okay? You are not a bad person if you want those things. Because we cannot exist in a state of permanent vigilance. We cannot read and react to all of it all the time. Our minds, our hearts, and our bodies cannot take that. We were not built for this kind of hypervigilance, okay? We were not built for it. So today I want to propose that you take a breather. I want to give you permission, if you need it, to distance yourself from all of it for just a little while. I want to invite you all into a period of wintering. A few weeks back in our service, Laura Sanda, our Director of Religious Enrichment, introduced a new word to all of us. Do you remember what it is? It's okay if you don't. I do. That's why I'm talking about it. Hibernaculum. Hibernaculum. Isn't that a great word? It's just fun to say. It is Latin for winter quarters, and it describes the nest that hibernating animals build for themselves as winter comes near. And as is often the case, nature has provided some really good inspiration for me, and hopefully for you, in contemplating hibernation. So I've got a few fun facts. Hibernation is a deep state of inactivity where the animal's body temperature, metabolism, and even breathing slows dramatically. Most hibernating animals are small mammals, but bears hibernate, bats hibernate, snakes, snails, and even some kinds of insects all hibernate too. Did you know that most hibernating animals can survive on very little to no oxygen during hibernation? It's true. Literally, the oxygen levels in their blood can drop by up to 100% while they hibernate, right? Arctic squirrels are able to lower their body temperature to below freezing during hibernation. There is a breed of North American wood frog that is able to survive being frozen and then thawing out several times per season due to a very unique and natural substance in their blood. Whoa. And finally, dormice. Dormice get the medal for hibernation because they can hibernate for up to 11 months. That sounds pretty good right about now, doesn't it? Now, of course, we humans don't hibernate. We're not physiologically built for that. But who is to say that we cannot take inspiration from our fellow beings and adopt a practice of what the British author Catherine May calls wintering? In our reading, May said, quote, "Wintering is a fallow period in life that can bring about some of the most profound and insightful moments of our human experience. Wisdom resides in those who have wintered." Wintering is very, very simply put, downtime. That's what wintering is. Whether it's required due to illness or injury or taken up intentionally as a means of creating healing space, wintering invites and encourages each of us to pause, to make time to think, to slow our breath and quiet our hearts, to leave the circus of life, close the door, and make space to listen to that still small voice within. Now, last week, I made all of you take about 1,000 deep breaths over the course of the service, and I hope that you are still finding time to breathe, and I hope that breathing is helping you process. Because what we need to do next is regroup. Once we have steadied ourselves, at least to some extent, we need to renew our spirits. We need to dig deep into ourselves and each other to make ourselves stronger and more resilient. That is the true purpose of wintering. Now, in practice, this can look like a lot of different things, and I encourage you to think of what it might look like for you. Maybe it's returning to or deepening a meditation practice, going back to those yoga classes, spending more time doing whatever exercise brings you joy. Maybe it's spending more time in prayer or developing a new spiritual practice. Making time to be with those that you love, especially the good friends and the family members that bring you joy, that make you happy to be alive. Getting out into nature. Today's a good day for it. It's gorgeous outside. Reading good books, books that have something to teach you, alongside with books that maybe you can just escape into for a little while. And if you spend a good amount of time decorating, baking cookies, and watching Hallmark Christmas movies, that's okay too. I won't quibble. Because all of that counts. Whatever activity, whatever state that allows you to pause enough so that the still small voice in your heart can speak to you, that is wintering. Because we need to find ourselves again. In the midst of this chaotic and frightening time, we need to do the work of building sanctuaries of comfort, of rest, and renewal for ourselves and others. Because if we are not able to rest and renew ourselves, we are not going to be able to show up for those beloveds that are going to need our support in the months and the years to come. We will not be able to be the sanctuaries of shelter and refuge that I know we are going to be called upon to be. Are you with me? This past week, our UUA president, the Reverend Sophia Betancourt, offered a video message to all of us, and I want to share some of her words here. She said, quote, "What I know beyond any reasonable doubt is that we are a sanctuary people. From the powerful efforts of our elders in the middle of the 20th century to our congregations and communities offering shelter to migrants today, our homes, our congregations, and even our national headquarters model what it means to offer sanctuary." And for those of you who don't know, currently an entire floor of the UUA headquarters in Boston is being used as an emergency shelter for about 25 migrant families. That's happening right now in Boston. So we are a sanctuary people indeed. And being a sanctuary for others means being a sanctuary first for yourself. We all know that you have to put your own mask on first before you can help somebody else, right? Because there are so many in our midst that are not feeling safe right now, my friends. There are so many who are worried that they might not be able to find sanctuary when they need it. We have work to do. We have a lot of work to do to protect all of us, to fight for the inherent worth and dignity of all of us, and to ensure all of our freedoms to live and love as we choose. In her message, Reverend Sophia also said this: "We will rest in the strength of our covenants and bring that love, that generosity, that sacred witness to bear as we continue to work toward a future where our liberation is collective and all of our people can count themselves whole." Now, the work is not beginning now. We know that. It is continuing on. It is handed to us by our ancestors, those who fought for freedom, so that we would be able to do the same thing. So let us continue that long and enduring mission of liberation by making it sustainable and strong. And for me, that means in this moment, taking a breather, taking a break, and a deep breath. In this moment, grounding ourselves in resilience and hope, and reweaving the bonds of our community inside this community and our connections with others to make that interdependent web as tough and durable as we know it can be. Let us build sanctuaries now that will sustain all of us. Because this is a marathon, not a sprint. You know that, right? This is a marathon, not a sprint. As Catherine May wrote, quote, "We have to remember that our present will one day become a past, and our future will become our present. Each time we endure the cycle, we ratchet up a notch, and that is how progress is made." Friends, the outrage machine, all those headlines and media that are commanding all of your attention right now, because I know they are, the outrage machine doesn't care about your exhaustion. The outrage machine won't encourage you to take time for a walk, to drink some water, to get a good night's sleep. You have to claim your right for rest and renewal. You have to make space for sanctuary. Take a breather so that you can then figure out what work is yours to do when it is time for all of us to move into action. We are a sanctuary people. Let it be true for us so we can make it true for all. May it be so. Amen.
As we bring our service to a close, there are a few announcements to share. First, I'd like to invite up Berber Lanson to update us on buildings and grounds.
Thank you. As Chair of Building and Grounds and under the guidance of the Governing Board, I want you all to look outside to the beautiful scene we have out here, unimpeded by any boards or foam or coverings as the windows have been repaired. Right. We've been honored and privileged to be able to be the individuals to kind of lead the efforts, and I know a lot of you have probably been wondering what's going on, and so we are going to have a little update on December 8th about where we stand currently, but also what's in store for the next few months. Obviously, the wintertime, we will be kind of not doing so much, but in the spring, we have a lot of stuff that's going to fix up the rest of the damage as well as a little more refurbishment. So please, December 8th after services at the meeting in the Beal House. Thank you.
So continuing, all are welcome to join us for coffee hour at the Beal House across the street. If you are visiting, please be sure to check out our Info Island welcome table to find information and sign up for our newsletter. Today at 5 o'clock in the Beal House, Reverend Emily and Laura Sanda will offer a family worship service, followed by dinner provided by RE. This is an all-ages service and a great way to engage with the kids and families in our community. If you haven't signed up and want to come, connect with either Reverend Emily or Laura during coffee hour. This December, we will once again be collecting hats, scarves, and gloves, all ages, all sizes, for the Matthew Mission Food Pantry. We need to get everything into them by Saturday, December 14th, so the mitten tree is starting next Sunday, November 24th. We've got 3 Sundays only to collect, so please support this effort if you can. And then finally, our Silver Bells Fair is coming up on Saturday, December 7th, and we need volunteers. See the sign-up board at Info Island and talk to Deb Herlihy if you have any questions. Now, please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, A Promise Through the Ages Rings, number 344 in the gray hymnal.
As we extinguish our chalice, may we carry the warmth of this sanctuary forward in our hearts and out into our beautiful and our broken world today and every day. So go in peace with love for yourselves and each other. Amen.